everyone. My name is Amber and we are here with Art That Heals, and for today's course we are going to be doing Zen-tangles through a scribble. So essentially what we're going to do is we're going to start by letting go, which sometimes is really hard for us to let things go, right? Really it comes down to the idea of the sense of control. I don't know about you, even I'm not a huge fan of always letting go of control, but it can be very helpful sometimes because life happens and sometimes we have no choice. So what we're going to start is doing our scribble first. So if you are comfortable, you can close your eyes, or you just look in a different direction other than your paper. Have a good idea of where your paper is at, just so you don't go off of the page. And what we're going to do is just basically do what it says, is a scribble. So I'm going to do it. This is mine. And obviously mine didn't connect, so you can just finish that. Just kind of bring it down like that. Okay, so that is our scribble. Pretty cool, right? Not much to look at right now, and there's going to be a different version of a scribble that we're going to do, but that's going to be in a different course, so stay tuned for that. But now comes the Zen-tangle part, right? So obviously we have different sections here that are just blank canvases essentially. So we're going to fill each of those with a different type of Zen-tangle. And if you haven't looked at the other one, well, the other course, shall I say, it is just like an intro, right? You get a chance to practice Zen-tangles, have a good idea of what they are, how are they helpful with healing and our mental health. And so start there and then come on back if you haven't gone there. If you're not really sure what a Zen-tangle is, that's a really good place to start. So what I am going to do is I'm going to start with my Zen-tangles and we're just gonna go from there. And obviously I would love to see what some of you guys come up with, and so you can totally share it within the community post, and I'll put a post up where you can have that space to share it then. Okay, so let me zoom on in here. I think we're going to start with this big one right here. And we're just going to go in. So I like to start off with just like little half circles connecting at a point. And the really cool thing is it doesn't have to be perfect, because the cool thing is that towards the end, when you step away from it, like you get to see it as a whole, and it really comes together very, very nicely. And then I think I'm going to stop it with right there, and then I'm just going to start a new one. Like this. And we're just going to keep going until you feel like starting a new one. You don't have to start a new one, but it's pretty cool kind of to see them side by side and how the lines play with one another. And then you just connect it like that. Keep going. See how it almost like looks like it kind of goes off into the distance? I think that is like the coolest thing. Pretty cool, right? Okay, I'm going to pause my end of things and I'm going to finish this section, and then I'm going to move on to the next one, and we're going to be right back. Alright guys, so we are back. I just finished the large section with the rest of my Zen-tangle. What do you guys think? I think it's pretty cool. It looks like everything's just kind of like weaving within one another. So that's really nice. I like that. And then for my next one, I'm just going to, go straight across and going to go one by one. So this next one, what I am going to do, I'm going to do some waves. They might not all match, and I'm okay with that. There we go. Okay, so that's different. And what I might do, just to kind of spark it up a little bit, is do these little half of a crosshatch. I'm only going to go in one direction. I'm going to do this for every other wave, like this. Now when you're doing your Zen-tangles, I want you to pay attention to the sound from the pen to paper. Also the sound of the paper hitting your surface if you are turning your paper while you are working. So you're going like that. You hear that? Because it is those different qualities that are going to really help you to get into a meditative state. All right, so that's that one. That was pretty quick, not too bad. This one, what we're going to do is just going to do 3 little circles and then some internal ones like that. And yes, I went outside the line, but that's okay. Because there are no rules here in art. All right, the next one I am going to do circles. All different sized circles. And like fill them in. Almost looks like pebbles in a way. There we go. All right. So for this next one, I'm going to go in this direction. Just going to do some lines like this. I'm going to turn it. There we go. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to start from this one in the middle. I feel like that's easiest. We're going to go in one direction, kind of like what we did with the waves. But we're going to do in every single section. We're going to go in different directions. There we go. It gives it almost like a 3D effect. Like it's an accordion, like it's folded paper almost. There we go. Look at that. That's pretty cool. All right. On to the next one. Let me see here. I think we're going to do some triangles. It's going to look almost like a scale pattern, which essentially is all that Zen-tangles are. It's just patterned lines that are repetitive. Definitely makes things look very intricate. There we go. All right, looking good. All right, let me see here. I'm gonna jump over here. I want to use this bigger space here. Do this like flower design. It almost reminds me of the flowers from SpongeBob. What do you guys think? There we go. Pretty darn cool. And usually what I do is I do a design in between these flowered pieces that almost looks like this over here. But for right now, I'm going to hold off on doing that, and I'm going to do the other pieces and then kind of like reevaluate and see what I feel like it needs. So let me see here. What other design? Let me think for a moment. Okay, I think I know what I want to do now. We're going to just go right in on this one. I'm going to do like a checkered pattern first. Now I just eyeball this. I know a lot of people might pull out a ruler. That's totally fine. You can do whatever you feel like will be best for you. But if we're thinking about the art of letting go, maybe a ruler isn't the way to go, right? Okay, so now we're going to go like this. And we're going to do this kind of like pattern here. There we go. Another cool way that you can do this one is you can like alternate. See how I'm keeping it in the same direction going down? I mean, I could go like that in the other direction if I wanted to, which might, look pretty cool actually. Nope. And I start to, but that's okay. Okay, and then I'm gonna do a little extra something in the middle here like this. And look at that, it looks like a little heart. Didn't even think about that until I just filled that first one in. I like it even more. And like I said, like emphasis on perfection, that is definitely not the goal here. You know, I can definitely, take my time, but it's really just about like free expression, just like letting go, doing the thing, right? Without having too much judgment. Because once you step back and look at it as a whole, you're probably going to feel pretty darn cool about it. Okay. All right, there we go. So that one's done. All right, maybe we'll do like a traditional checkered for like this one right here. There we go. We have our traditional checkerboard. All right, let me see. Okay, so I think I'm gonna go from this side and go in this direction. Almost like these petals. And then we'll do some more. How do I want to do this? Like that. Just spinning this paper around all over the place. Here we go. And you can, obviously, if you're going to do a pattern similar to this, you don't have to do the black details that I'm doing if you don't want to. You can also choose to fill in the empty space there. I might do something with that empty space. I'm going to wait until the end, though. It's almost like peeking through the bushes. There we go. And for some reason I just thought of it, but we're going to go with what my brain initially thought of for this spot just now. Just going to do a big swirl. There we go. Let's see here. I think, let me think here. Okay, so I think what we're going to do here, just do lines across like this. And I like doing lines, for me anyway. It is very meditative, especially if you start doing like a larger space of it. Ooh, you really can lose track of time and just get into what we call the state of flow, where it just kind of like gives the brain a break from thinking, because it does a lot of that throughout the day, especially if you are a person who tends to be a little bit more on the anxious side, or just has a very overactive imagination, or is just super busy. Or like myself, you know, I have ADHD, so the brain's always going in so many different directions, and doing a design like this just kind of gives it that permission of, you don't have to do anything but this, that's it. And I love that. All right, so that one's done. Look how cool this is, guys. All right, I have a few more spots here. Let me see here. I think I'm gonna do some diagonals, and then some dots. There we go. Okay. Next, we're going to do circles again, but not like this one. It's going to be a little bit different. And we're going to start, it's going to be almost like a chain. Like we're going to overlap them like this. It's just going to get overlapped everywhere. Don't forget, guys, you do not have to do the patterns that I am doing. You know, your spaces are going to look different. A pattern might scream at you just because of the shape of your space you're wanting to work in. And sometimes even looking at the patterns that are around it. Definitely have fun with it. There we go. That's pretty cool. All right, for the next one, let me see. I don't want all of my lines going in the same direction, so I'm gonna go this way. A little bit of a wave, not too crazy. Just gonna do a couple of them and have them go in different, like, waves, I guess. And we're just gonna go like this. There we go. And maybe, okay, I'm going to turn it around. I'm going to go the other direction then. Never done that before. You know, and sometimes as your brain thinks about it, just go with it. Trust yourself. Cool. I like that. I like that. Let me see here. And from the middle, go with some crazy waves. Cool. I'm digging it. All right, we have 4 more spots, guys. All right, so let me see here. Okay. Probably gonna do in the middle one here. Or, yeah, I think I'm gonna go with this one right here. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is start from here. And we're just gonna come out like this. Almost like a ray. And then alternating between circles and lines. I'm going to do curved lines this time. Kind of like what I did with the first section. Okay. There we go. Cool. Okay. All right, 3 more spots, guys. All right, let me see. What do I have going on here? All right, we'll do larger checkered, but with a different design. There we go. Okay, so 2 more spots. And that one. I'll do little lines. It's gonna get lost a little bit, but that's all right. Okay, last spot here. Let me see. I don't know what this is. I just came to me. I don't even know how it's going to look all together, how far I should go with it, but that's okay. Just trusting that I will know if I want to or need to do anything else. One more. Okay. All right. So it's all done. Let me bring you out, guys. So here is the final piece. This is the Scribble and Zen-Tangle, or Zen-Tangle Scribble, however you want to say it. I was going to go back and do something else, but I think because some of these are so condensed with design, I kind of like the balance between more of an emptier design compared to some of the other ones. So let me know what you guys think of this. I hope this brought you some relaxation, gave your mind a little bit of a break, and I will definitely see you in the next one. Take care of yourself. Bye.